What's up to all my people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 134 and season 4, episode 32 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 134th time. And I'd like to welcome all of my fellow lowlife, scumbags, hoodlums, shady characters, anybody named Phil Mickelson, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, cheats, friends and family of the gooch, fienders with abusive language, and degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into one or a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us, gooba gobble, one of us, we accepted one. Sorry. I get carried away sometimes. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. And to spread the word's also very easy. Just tell other degenerates and scumbags you know, like Cruz, to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That's going to take you directly to my page so you can get dialed into everything I give you as soon as I give it to you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners, which means we only got 2 weeks left. I give you my picks to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. The books aren't expecting a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier and a disruptor who makes money for you. I'm like the Beastie Boys. Step into the party, disrupt the whole scene. That's what I do. I go to the mattresses and get the info for you every week in order to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, like I said, we only got 2 weeks left. So we got today and tomorrow, and then the Sweet 16 and the Final 8 are coming up next weekend, then the Final 4 in the National Championship, and that's it for season 4. I take the summer off and I'll come back at you with college football in the fall or late summer, let's say. We'll call it late August usually when college football begins. But yeah, that's it. It'll be a couple months off to relax and kick back and spend all that money that I've made you. Speaking of money, the numbers for the week, this week so far, they've been interesting to say the least. With the College Basketball Invitational, the College Insiders Tournament, and the National Invitational Tournament, the NIT, they're all going on before the NCAAs got going on Thursday. So I jumped out to a 16-12-1 start on the week, right, with the other tournaments, and that was just fine, right? That's a way to do it. Now, day one of the NCAAs wasn't as nice to me as the others, and I came in at 15-16-1 on Thursday, which just ain't going to get it done. But I bounced back strong yesterday with a 19-13 day to get me to 34 wins, 29 losses, 1 push in the NCAAs. And when added to the 16-12-1 in the other tournaments, 50-41-2 ain't too bad so far, with 2 more days to go coming today and tomorrow, right? And, well, actually 3, because there will be other tournaments going on Monday. So, looking good so far. Now, just remember that all of these picks are 100% free. So for all the touts out there that are giving you 75 to 80% winners, come on now. We all know that you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks. With me, just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You can also follow me on X at Stony Woods, right? Because with all these tournaments and out to an early lead, that's the only way to get paid, you know? And
pay him. Pay that man his money.
When that man needs his money, right, he knows there's NIT, CBI, and CIT matchups tomorrow at various times. So I will get to those. But first, I got to give you the NCAAs. So I'm going to give you all the NCAAs first, then I'm going to get to the other tournaments, all right? Let's get it going today, 12:45 Eastern, in the West region on CBS in Salt Lake Stony, where second-seeded Arizona is a 9.5-point favorite versus seventh-seeded Dayton, and the total's 149. While Arizona was busy hammering Long Beach, Dayton had an improbable comeback after trailing most of the game and took out Nevada. Zona has the horses. Dayton is nice, but they don't have the horses. Give me Zona in another easy one to cruise into the Sweet 16 at minus 9.5 and under 149. Midwest region, also in Salt Lake Stony at 3:15 Eastern on CBS. We get a dream matchup right here. Two blue bloods. Fifth-seeded Gonzaga is a 4.5-point chalk over 4-seed Kansas, and the total's 151.5. Wilbon, all you people who don't like college basketball, men's college basketball, here's your blue bloods. Here you go. Now that you're complaining about the parity, here are your blue bloods right here, facing off against each other in just the second round. Love it. Gonzaga's 4.5-point chalk over Kansas, totals 151.5. Kansas blew a 20-point second half lead on Thursday before holding off Samford, another one of my winners. I had Samford. While Gonzaga crushed McNeese State, another one of my winners. Both schools were trendy picks to get bounced early in this tournament for some reason, but not by me. This is where it ends for Kansas, though, because Mark Few has the nation's longest streak of consecutive trips to the Sweet 16, which means he owns this weekend. The first weekend, he just absolutely owns. It's his. Gonzaga has been 8 straight years. Make it 9. Give me the Zags, lay the number, and roll with the under. West region on CBS in Charlotte, 5:30 Eastern. We get another dream matchup. 2 of them between blue bloods. As top seed North Carolina is a 4-point favorite against 9th-seeded Michigan State, and the total's 140.5. Carolina wasted no time at all in taking out Wagner. All right, they just blew him out on Thursday, while Michigan State just stifled a very good Mississippi State squad to get to round 2. UNC has the star power, Davis, Baycott, but the biggest star in this game is Tom Izzo, period. I like Hubert Davis, and he's done a good job at Carolina, but he's outclassed by Izzo here. This is his time of year, and in what may be his last win this year before he loses next week, Izzo gets it done again and knocks out the first number 1 seed of the tournament. Give me State plus 4.5 and under 140.5 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, Michael.
You need that sprinkle, because especially if they went outright on the money line. East region in Omaha, 6:10 Eastern on TNT. Second-seeded Iowa State is a 6.5-point chalk over 7-seed Washington State, and the total's 129. Iowa State cruised past South Dakota State on Thursday, while Washington State battled a very good Drake team and took them out late. As much as I love Ohio State to advance to at least the Elite 8, possibly the Final 4, this one's got middle written all over it. Iowa State wins, but Wazoo gets the cover as they have a knack for keeping things close. Give me the under also, as 2 teams that are in no hurry are going to walk the ball up the floor all day long. 7:10 Eastern this evening in the South region, TBS in Pittsburgh. 11th seed North Carolina State is a 6.5-point favorite versus 14 seed Oakland, and the total's 146.5. NC State continued their improbable run through the postseason as they took out a very good Texas Tech squad in round 1. But Oakland is so far, they're the story of the tournament, after knocking out Kentucky on Thursday behind Jack Golke's 10 3-pointers and the sheer badassery of Trey Townsend. Golke was channeling his inner Jimmy Chitwood of Hoosiers fame, coming off screens and drilling 3 after 3 without even having to dribble the ball. NC State may win and continue this run, which they probably will, but they played 5 games in 5 days to win the ACC tournament, and they're going to run out of gas eventually. Oakland is loose, confident, and nothing to lose right now, which is why I like the Golden Grizzlies catching 6.5, and I'll take the over also, 146.5. Midwest region in Charlotte at 8 Eastern on CBS. Second-seeded Tennessee is a 6-point favorite over 7-seed Texas. Did I get that right? Tennessee, 6-point favorite over 7-seed Texas, and the total's 146.5. Both schools had easy wins on Thursday as Texas bounced Colorado State and Tennessee rolled over St. Peter's. The storyline here is clearly Rick Barnes. He coached Texas for 17 years, in which he got them to 2 Elite Eights and 1 Final Four. He's now in his 9th year on Rocky Top, and this is his best team yet. It all starts with Dalton Knecht's shooting and physicality, but Zakai Ziegler and Jonas Aidoo are phenomenal complementary pieces to go along with Knecht. Max Abmas is going to try to pull off a magic act for Texas. That's what he does, but the Horns just don't have enough. Give me the Vols, lay the points, and give me the under, too. Omaha, East Region at 8:40 Eastern on TNT. 3rd seed Illinois is a 10-point favorite over 11 seed Duquesne, and the total's 148. Illinois cruised past Morehead State on Thursday, while Duquesne took out a very good and game BYU team behind the spectacular play of Day Grant, who's really making a name for himself in this tournament. The problem the Dukes face here, though, is the 1-2 punch from the Illini of Terrence Shannon Jr. and Dane Danger, right? They can put up points quickly, the two of them, right? Duquesne also likes to push tempo, so they can run right along with Illinois. And while the Illini get the W and move on to the Sweet 16, Duquesne gets the cover. So give me the Dukes plus the points and over 148. Midwest Region in Pittsburgh at 9:40 Eastern on TBS tonight. 3rd seeded Creighton is a 5-point favorite over 11 seeded Oregon, and the total's 146. After losing their last 2 games of the regular season, Oregon's ripped off 5 straight, including the Pac-12 tournament title, and they took out a good South Carolina squad on Thursday with some hot shooting. Creighton, those loaded, right? And they cruised past Akron in round 1. Dana Altman is the story here, where we just had one former coach, Rick Barnes, going against his former team, right? Dana Altman coached at Creighton for years, right? Now he's in Oregon, and he's doing it well up in Oregon. Doing it well. Oregon's not as good as they've looked the last 2 weeks, so I'm going to dance with Creighton here to knock out Dana Altman. Lay the points. Give me the over also. That's it for today's schedule. 8 games, right? But like I said, there are other tournaments going on as well. So with that, I'll go quickly, and we'll start by time, right? We'll just go by start time. First game off today, 11:30 Eastern on ESPN2 in South Orange in the NIT. I'll take North Texas +4 versus Seton Hall with a little bit of a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me.
Because you have to at 4. 1 p.m. Eastern at the College Basketball Invitational. I like Arkansas State -12.5 over Bethune-Cookman. 2 Eastern in the NIT. This one's easy. I'm on Bradley +5 at Cincinnati. 3:30 Eastern in the College Basketball Invitational. Give me Chicago State +10 at UC San Diego. College Basketball Invitational at 6 Eastern. I'll take Delaware State +12 at Seattle. 7 Eastern in the NIT. Give me Ohio State -4 over Virginia Tech. All right. So that's it for the other tournaments today. But just when you thought I was done, I was just warming up, right? Because there's so much more action going on tomorrow as well. So let's move on to tomorrow's NCAAs. And we're going to start in the South region. Indianapolis, 12:10 Eastern on CBS. 2nd seeded Marquette is a 3.5-point favorite versus 10 seed Colorado, and the total's 147. Marquette took a little while to get going yesterday, but they still beat up on Western Kentucky, and Colorado had a memorable win with a bouncing Kawhi Leonard type buzzer beater win over Florida, in which they hung 102 points on the Gators. Colorado's been red hot lately, but their run ends here as Marquette got Tyler Kolek back. He's healthy. Marquette -3.5 and over 147. 2:40 Eastern on CBS in the Midwest region of Indianapolis. Top-seeded Purdue's 10.5-point chalk over 8 seed Utah State, and the total's 148. Purdue crushed Grambling State yesterday, not even close. And Utah State beat up on a very good TCU squad. With a big number like this, Purdue's clearly the favorite and is going to win this game. But here's the middle. The Aggies are on a roll right now. So give me Utah State catching 10.5 and under 148.5. South region. And no sleep till Brooklyn at 5:15 Eastern on CBS. Fourth-seeded Duke is a 7-point favorite versus 12th-seeded James Madison, and the total's 148.5. Duke beat Vermont easily yesterday, and James Madison bum-rushed Wisconsin. Wasn't even close. Duke is Duke, and they're obviously the popular play here. But Madison's on a roll right now, and their speed is very impressive. I'm going to middle this one also, just like the last one. Duke wins, but Madison makes it interesting. Give me Madison and the points along with the under 148.5. West region in Memphis at 6:10 Eastern on TNT. Third-seeded Baylor's 4-point chalk over 6-seed Clemson, and the total's 145. Clemson hammered New Mexico yesterday, while Baylor did the same to Colgate. Neither team was really that tested. Clemson has been playing out of their minds the last week and a half, but it ends here. Baylor takes them out and moves on to the Sweet 16 and what's bordering lock status. Give me Baylor minus 4.5 over 145. West region in Spokane, 7:10 Eastern on TBS. Fourth-seeded Alabama's a 6-point chalk over 12th-seed Grand Canyon, and the total's 168.5. Grand Canyon impressively took out St. Mary's yesterday, but Alabama raced past College of Charleston by hanging 109 points on the Cougars. GCU is a nice story and a very good team that's well coached by Bryce Drew. Remember him? But it all ends here as Bama keeps on rolling. Give me the Tide, lay the 6, and the over 168.5. East region, no sleep till Brooklyn on True TV at 7:45 Eastern. Top seed Connecticut is a 14-point favorite over 9-seed Northwestern, and the total's 135.5. Northwestern was dead in the water yesterday, but they came back and tied Florida Atlantic late to send the game to overtime, in which the Wildcats just took over. Some very questionable clock management down the stretch by FAU. They had no business pulling that shit, and I'm glad they deserved to lose after pulling that. Connecticut was last seen benching their starters just 5 minutes into the second half when they led by 50 over Stetson. The Huskies are the best team in the nation. They're bigger and stronger than everyone, and they're the only team without a true weakness. But 14... Yep, I don't care. Give me the defending champs, lay the 14, and I'll take the under 135.5. South region in Memphis at 8:40 Eastern on TNT tomorrow night. Top-seeded Houston is a 9.5-point favorite over 9-seed Texas A&M, and the total's 132.5. A&M was impressive yesterday in taking out Nebraska with an offensive outburst, while Houston just absolutely dismantled Longwood to the tune of a 40-point blowout. Houston is that good, and while Buzz Williams at A&M is one of my favorite coaches in all of college basketball, it always seems to win in March. His boys are in trouble here against the sheer physicality of Houston's amazing defense. Give me Houston, lay the lumber, and over 132.5. And finally, the Degenerate Special goes at 9:40 Eastern on TBS in the East region at Spokane. 5-seed San Diego State, SDSU, is a 5-point favorite over 13th-seed Yale, and the total's 128.5. San Diego State had a big scare, but they outlasted UAB yesterday, while Yale made all the right plays down the stretch in their upset win over Auburn. STSU they're trying to make a repeat trip right back to the Final Four again, right? And their defensive toughness is going to serve them really well in this one. But after coming back from a 10-point deficit to Auburn, behind the hot shooting of the Greek John Poulakidis' right arm and setting up, and Yale is just playing really well, and Poulakidis right now is playing at another level. They're the play. So give me Yale here, catching the 5 under 128.5 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
That's So now, as for the other tournament games, Sunday, tomorrow, in the college basketball invitational game, give me Cleveland State in a pick'em over Northern Colorado at 11 Eastern. 1:30 Eastern in the CBI, I'll take Montana -7 versus Presbyterian. NIT action at 2 Eastern on ESPN2. I'm on Minnesota +7.5 at Indiana State. In the CBI at 4 Eastern, I like Fairfield +1 over Arkansas Little Rock with a sprinkle.
Big timer, big time. Holy water. Sprinkle me, man.
Sometimes you gotta, let the extension play. In the NIT at 4 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2, I'm on Georgia +9.5 at Wake Forest. CBI action at 6:30 Eastern. Give me Quinnipiac -2.5 over Evansville. In the NIT at 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU, I'm on South Florida laying 2.5 versus Virginia Commonwealth. And finally at 9 Eastern in the NIT on ESPN2, I like Iowa +5 at Utah. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I mean, that's all 16 NCAA plays to go along with 14 other tournaments. 30 plays in 2 days. That's awesome. Awesome sauce, right? But it's also 16 totals. That gives you 46 plays in 2 days. So let's get after it and let's make some serious jack here with only 2 weeks left in the season. Make sure to check back daily in the comments section of this video starting Monday for more picks regarding the CIT, the CBI, and the NIT. I'll be posting Stoniecast 135 on Wednesday in anticipation of the Sweet 16 that begins on Thursday. So until then, just remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch, my brother.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.